I just wanted to take this time today to tell you my story, a real story of how I got to this point. And it's a very magical thing, you know? Like people on the internet, they'll tell you, manifest this, manifest that. It's as simple as this. I'm just gonna keep it real with you because whether you believe this or that, like, this is my authentic truth. And it was pretty magical. You see, I believe it was a year and a half ago that my life was completely different. You know, I was living in a country that I didn't feel like was home. And I remember one day randomly I applied for my passport, just on the whim, on the hopes that one day I would be able to travel. But I kept it in my mind. I kept that vision in here. And I felt that one day I would travel the world. I felt it. I imagined it. I knew it. And I felt a calling towards one specific country. I don't know why, but I did. And that country was Jamaica. But here's the thing, I don't really have actual plans. I just wanted to manifest that. I wanted to manifest a trip there. And I said to myself, I don't know when, but I'm going. It's gonna happen. I'm going. And of course, at the time, I was still living with my father, you know, and he was selling his house soon. And, me being, a young adult at that time, I had to figure out, oh, where am I gonna go after that? And the truth is, I had no plan. I had saved up some money, but I didn't really know where I was going, you know? And the thing is, like, I remember when I wrote my passport, I checked how long it would be until that house would sell. It didn't look good, But I said, okay, I'm gonna write it to my sister's house then, because if at least, I have to move somewhere, at least I can go stop at my sister's house and pick it up, right? So that's what I did. And eventually the day comes, and I'm packing all my stuff meanwhile and preparing, like, where am I gonna go? Where am I gonna go? I don't know. But ultimately, I kept seeing the signs, and the signs kept saying, you're not supposed to know where you're gonna go. You just gotta trust. You just gotta have faith that, like, there's a greater intelligence than this mind, in this body, in this head. There's a divine intelligence out there, and that this mind can't comprehend the plan forward. And so, what did I do? I did nothing. I mean, it's not that I did nothing. I mean, I planned, I prepared, I meditated, took care of myself, my body, really embraced a spiritual aspect of myself and focused my attention on that and healing that. And just, I think at that time is actually somewhere in that time, I became self aware of this life, this reality of what I truly am. And of course, like, that doesn't really change anything because how can you change? Like, what does self realization actually change? Nothing, practically speaking. But all that to say, I let go. I had faith in the signs and synchronicities. Even when if it didn't make sense. Even when all logic was saying, this is stupid. This is dangerous. This is scary. I trusted. Because at the end of the day, I said to myself, you know, I'm a young man. Whatever happens in this life, even if it goes wrong, I trust myself enough to dig myself out of the hole. And so I said, if this doesn't work out and I misread the situation, so be it. I'll deal with it and I'll get myself back to higher ground. But that's not what happened. You see, the last day we were closing the house, the final day, I'm talking, we put every single thing we owned in the house into a pickup truck. The house was empty. And I mean empty, bro. That was the day my sister called me. She said, your passport's here. And so instead of going and buying an apartment and living some normal life, some boring life, a life that just wouldn't be fulfilling to me, I was rewarded by following my intuition, by trusting something greater than the knowledge of my body, of my mind. And what came next was something greater than I could even imagine. Because we drove up to my sister's house, picked up my passport, and I said, today's the day. And I bought my ticket to Jamaica. And guess what? I didn't buy a return flight. You're not even supposed to do that. But I said, you know what? I don't know what's gonna happen. One-way ticket. Because that's what even got me to the point of owning that passport at that time. Because it came early. My passport came early. I was supposed to, biological means, I was supposed to be renting an apartment, paying bills, blah, blah, blah. No. Flight to Jamaica, one way. And so I fly to Jamaica, not knowing anything. I get there in the airport. Guess what happens? They won't let me through. Why? Because I had a one-way flight. I didn't book an accommodation. I didn't this, I didn't that. But somehow, some way or another, I kind of wheeled my way through. I didn't have to buy a return flight. I didn't even buy accommodation. I somehow got through. After just talking, working my magic, And on any other day, I don't think I would have got through. On any other flight, I don't think I would have got through. But you know why I got through on that flight? It's because I went at the time where no one else was taking a flight. There were maybe 25 people on my flight. And when I got to the airport, there was no one there. Literally no one. It was so early in the morning, there was no one there. And I talked to my friends when they came through the Jamaica, airport full. The airport was so full. And so it's just one of those synchronicities where it's like, normally, that would have been a stupid thing to do. But for me, I learned from that experience. And my intuition was telling me, don't do this. Do this. Go into it without knowing or having any expectations. Because for that being my first flight ever, first time I ever bought a flight, first time going out of the country, many things. I learned so much just from that instance. And that was really the only, the beginning of all my learning, And another thing I learned while I was in Jamaica is, good karma really exists, Because when I was there, this isn't me bragging, but I helped a lot of people, There are a lot of people, especially in Montego Bay, downtown Montego Bay, I wasn't in a resort. Most people who go to Montego Bay, they go to a resort. I was literally living downtown, bro. Downtown. And so, I would walk, if I wanted to go to a hip strip, I walked there for, God knows how long. But I was sweating because Jamaica's hot. But listen, I would pass on the streets, people who, for one reason or another, didn't really have money. And, I offer them food, offer them this and that, And I me being where I am now, I've received good karma because that good energy I put out. And it makes me even more grateful that I'm doing those things. It makes me more grateful that is how life works, because I put out that good energy. it comes back to me. And like, I'm not doing it because I want to receive. I'm just doing it because like it feels good to give out that good energy. It feels good to send out those positive vibes, you know? And I've experienced so much more than that, you know. I basically live like a local there, you know. I took the local buses. I didn't take the Knucksford, you know. I took the local buses, talked to local Jamaicans. Man learned patois, you know. Man turned to a real yardie. All right, man know patois. Man know patois. I'ma come true. I speak patois. I chat this and that. Everything good, you know. Nah, but for real, like, even I stayed with the Rastafari people in the mountains, you know. I went to the Sabbath, like I talked to the preacher, you know. I slept in the same community as them. I talked to the people. Did song and dance. I danced with them. I played music with them, you know. Beautiful experience. Beautiful experience. I saw the most beautiful beaches on Jamaica. You know, I got to drink fresh coconut. You know, I got to eat pork chicken. I got to eat, you know, all sorts of things. Breadfruit. Oh my God. Like, I met so many beautiful people there too. You know, from all over the world. If I had stayed in America, bro, I would have not met people from all over the world. Like, legitimately. Like, I never met an Egyptian person. I've never met an African person, you know, Ethiopian, Somali. I never met, you know, Indian. Like, I never met, like, people like that and really communicated with them until traveling the world. And, like, it's funny too because it wasn't just Jamaica. It was really just, that is the thing that started it. And so I remember, like, when I was in Kingston, I came back from the Rastafari village in the Blue Mountains. I come back to Kingston, you know, and I was feeling a little down, but I said, you know, I'm gonna let go. I'm gonna have faith. I'm gonna trust, and you know, it worked out better than I even could ever expected. Because guess what? I found one of the most important people in my life, and next thing you know, I'm on a flight to Colombia, a country I never even imagined I would have wanted to come to, but it's beautiful here. Like, you know, at the time of recording this, I'm still here now. Brother, I live here. I mean, I was living in Jamaica. Now I live here. Like, it's a beautiful thing, bro. It's a beautiful thing when you can just let go and trust in life and trust in the signs. And I think it's one thing to hear it, but it's another thing to actually put that into action and to live it and to experience it. So if you're being called in your life to let go and trust, try it out. Because at the end of the day, even if it didn't work out, you would find your way to higher grounds. But it's really just a flow thing. It's really a zazen. It's really what the spiritual process is about. Beyond self understanding, it's flow with life. It is non action. And that's beautiful. Like, it's just life without effort. It's just trust. It's love. You know, it's so many things, bruh. And and maybe my story and my telling of how my story went doesn't even really capture the totality of how big of a gift I've had. But it's like, because I'm still living that gift. You understand? I'm still traveling the world. Like, I'm living the gift. I'm living it with faith, with trust, with love. So, what I'm asking of you today is to pay attention and notice, what are you being asked to do? Because most of the times, I think once we let go, we start to see that everything's all right. Even if our brain can't comprehend it, there's a greater understanding, a greater knowledge beyond just the simple human mind. Because how could you really believe that the human mind is more intelligent than the intelligence of the totality of this universe? Meditate on that. I'll see you later. One love, my people.
Ja.